Hi, I'm Scott. I've ridden my Vespa Vanesspa 13,000 kilometres across Australia to all of the Ashes tests. It's a GTS 300 Super, 2022 April. I call it Vanesspa. Because it rhymes with Vanessa. It had to be a V name. When Vanessa came into my mind, I'm like, oh well, that just fits the cadence of the word and the Espa at the end, and no, that's perfect. Yeah. The Vespas have that sort of romantic Italian theme to it. That sort of very cobblestone street, romantic 1950s, 1970s sort of styling about the Vespa. And so Vespas are the original scooter for me, and so it was always going to be a Vespa. Obviously love for cricket. It's been a bucket list item for me to go to every day of every test of the Ashes. And when I bought Vanessa, I just sort of came out and I was like, I can ride, I have time to go to all the Ashes now and I can ride Vanessa, and Helen didn't tell me it was stupid. And so then as the couple of months went by, it was like, this could actually work. There is enough petrol stations along the way where the bike can go. And I can, if I carry a jerry can, I'm definitely going to be able to get the range that I need. And what do I really need to take? Anyway, I can take a tent, which I can put on the front, a couple of bags on behind me, and it started to pan out that I can do this. So I start in Canberra, and then head across to Perth for the first test, then up to Brisbane, going out through the back, Broken Hill and Burke, and then down to Adelaide, where, because I've been out in the Outback and a lot of straight roads and flat, decided to go through the mountains of northern New South Wales down to Bathurst, a couple of loops around the track there, and then head across to Adelaide, and then down, follow the coastline to Melbourne, and then follow the coastline to Sydney, and then back home to Canberra, which is, luckily, it's only a few hundred k's down the road, thank God. And riding her is so much fun that I'm a different person when I get on the bike to when I get off. Even Helen's noticed that a few times, where she's like, yeah, you are, you're very different. And so that was sort of the motivation to ride her to all of them, because it'll also be a journey. And then thinking about the journey, I was like, this actually would be quite a good mental health journey for me. I had basically a breakdown in 2020, sort of coming out of as part of the COVID response. I was working for the government back then, and all I could see was a path to suicide. And so I could people on the phone, I could just see them getting yelled at by people, because the world was trying to come out. The world had shut down and they were trying to come out of it, and we thought we had a solution. And I was then part of a team that made sure the service staff reached their KPIs. So I felt stuck, and my mind just couldn't handle it, because people kept saying, "Oh, it's not that's not your job. You're just doing what you're told." But what hit my brain was that it just felt like it was no one's job to care, and I couldn't get people to change, and so I just completely broke down, and I went down into a real sort of depths of thinking bad thoughts, and I ended up in ICU a couple of years ago, and where I didn't feel like there was a place for me anymore, and so since then I've sort of thought, something's got to change, and I've really got to try and really work on it. And my wife's been so amazing, and it was just shortly after that where I ended up becoming medically retired. So that was December 4th. And that's when I bought Vanessa, and she has completely changed my life. People talk about mindfulness when they're talking about psychology, and they talk about trying to become present. So recognizing a glass of water and talking about this is a glass of water and just being present in that moment. But for some reason, my mind, when I started to do it, my mind knew that's what I was doing, and so it couldn't get into that mindset. I still knew what I was trying to do. It's like, okay, I'm just trying to distract from what I really want to sort of think about, I guess. And it wasn't until I rode Vanesspa that I understood it. It just came to me one day when I was riding. I'm like, this is absolutely mindfulness, because you have to be present on this bike, because if you're not, you're going to crash. It was a surprise to me. I didn't realise it'd be that effective in terms of mindfulness. And yeah, someone said on the road, it's like, yeah, you don't see motorcycles parked outside of psychologists' place. Yeah. First 4 days was actually horrific. So it was the night of day 2, and they were fixing up a service station that I missed the road sign. So I was speeding, and so a policeman pulled me over for speeding. I had all my rain gear on because I thought it was going to rain, so I was struggling to get my licence out. And I just sort of started crying on this guy, this policeman, and he's like, all right, just take your time. You know, what are you, a yellow Vespa heading towards Morgan, you don't see it very often, what are you doing? And I was telling him, and I was just crying in front of this guy, and I was just trying to tell him my story, and he was amazing. He just sat and he listened, and I ended up sort of at the end of it, I was like, I'm really sorry for speeding, and he's like, I'm really happy that I pulled you over, because he said, listening to your story helps me with my mental journey, because he was in the military, and I told him, when I was telling him my story, I was like, I feel unworthy to even be in this headspace, because I haven't gone to war, I haven't been in a bad accident or anything like that. And he was like, your mind doesn't know the difference. And he was really, really lovely. Just let me tell my story, and then sort of thanked me at the end of it. And he let me go, which is thankful. But he was just the most amazing person. Yeah, and they're the sort of the things that make the journey, better, because I was able to get it out. And then, even though the next couple of days was still bad, I thought about that guy, and I'm like, okay, there are good people, in this world. The scenery has been absolutely amazing, and all that, but the people that you meet. Vespas are a bit of a draw card for people. People come out and they're like, oh, I love your bike, love the Vespa. What are you doing out here? There's a lot of the comments, and that camaraderie. People, then you get into conversation, and they talk about the journeys that they're on. Yeah, a couple of bikers passed me a couple of times, and then they came over and they're like, where are you going next? I'm like, I'm just staying the night at Cockpit. And they're like, great, we're going to go there and let's have a beer, And so we sat there and talked. They still had another 300 kilometres to go, mind you, at the end of the day. And just that camaraderie, it's absolutely amazing to, the humanity kind of in that, when you're riding and you're stopping, and people wave to you on the street as well. Like, even around town, there's a smile on people's faces all the time when you ride a Vespa. But there's a lot of them around, but still you get that sort of little friendships almost, and little conversations. It's amazing. It's been an amazing journey. Meeting some wonderful people along the way. Yeah, it's been fantastic.